welcome everyone to an episode of Games Talk Live. We are here today, just me and Hargeet. We're just gonna talk over what little bit of gaming news we've had this week. There's not much, but we will be sure to talk some gaming. That blue number, I see you out there, casual noob gamer. I see you as well. We've got several gamers listening to us right now. Gaz's show is on right now, and he's got the one and only Colt Eastwood on. So,
Oh my.
yeah, so
Shout out to
he's
both of them.
probably going to be taking some of our viewers, and that's fine. That's fine. People can listen after the fact. That's no problem. And if the chat's a little quiet today, again, no problem. Hargeet, how have you been this week, my friend? What have you been up to, what's been going on in your world? Anything
I
good?
see. So, yeah, I've been. I started up AC Shadows,
Okay.
and no, so that's I'm at the beginning area, but it's totally, absolutely destroying my 4090 PC, which is, it's a new state. Like I usually don't have this problem. Usually, that machine can handle just about anything, but not this time. It's having fun.
Oh, and I see I'm in
I'm gonna
your
have to cut it
spot.
back.
Oh my God, I'm in your
Oh,
spot. Great. So, okay, I'm going to move me over
okay.
and then move you over because it looks rather silly. My name is Hargeet now. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, it's definitely a very demanding game for sure.
Yeah,
One of the most
crazy.
demanding games that have come out. The graphics are really good. The RTGI is freaking beautiful. When you're comparing, like you were saying before the show, comparing the console version to the to the PC version, it's night and day. Especially if you have a high end PC, it's like
Yeah.
dramatically different. So, um, that said, I am no longer playing AC Shadows. I quit on the game, and I will talk about that a little bit
Oh,
later when we get into talking about Ubisoft and everything. I have a little bit of a rant. Some people may be surprised because I love AC games, but yeah, got some things to say. But let's get into it. Let's talk about the first order of business here. According to Chris Dring, many publishers are ready to delay their games based around GTA 6, the launch anyway. As many of you know, it's supposed to be launching this year, but I still say it's probably not. But many of the publishers out there are still waiting to see if this thing does launch, because as you know, we've talked about it last week. There's a lot of games that were supposed to drop this year that are waiting. That they haven't dropped their announcement of date or whatever when, so they're waiting on that, and it seems like they're just hesitant to want to drop it around that launch. I can understand why. I can understand. But Hargeet, for you, what do you say on the chances of GTA 6 not coming this year? What do you think about
I
that?
mean, look, not unheard of. They do it all the time, right? So, is it viable that they do another delay? Sure. And like, does it really matter to them financially? Maybe, but like, it's they're a cash cow, so if it delays another few months, it wouldn't surprise me. Look, tentatively, it's supposed to be coming out in September-ish. If it gets delayed to next year, or maybe even it just gets delayed to like November, okay, that could happen. If it delays out to like March or something, again, it would not surprise me. And like, we've seen enough games come out broken that why not just take the delay? This is a game we don't necessarily need to come out like early. Take Two doesn't need that to happen either because GTA 5 keeps making money for them anyway. So whatever. I'm all in for just like in this kind of case, go ahead, take the time, like make the game as polished as you want, make sure it's as feature complete as you want, and put it out when you're ready. But if it gets still, it would not surprise me, but it also could come out. They're saying it's ready to go. Fair enough. If they think they're good to go, fine, right? But is it? It would not surprise me if they come out a little later and say, "Well,
Yeah.
really, we're gonna delay it." We haven't seen anything Like I think you were saying like April if we don't hear anything.
Yeah, if we don't hear anything by mid-April, I think it's not coming. If we don't get that second trailer, I mean, if they're going by what they usually do with, how many months out they put the first trailer, second trailer, then you get that third deep dive. If it, a lot of people are speculating that are in the GTA community anyway, and it's like they were expecting it to be out by now, like before April. So a lot of them think it's not coming as of now, but I'm kind of being more lenient, saying I'll give them to mid-April. If that second trailer's not out, don't count on this game coming this year. That's just my thought. Unless they change that whole process, unless they're doing something different, in which case we're totally wrong. And I would love that to happen because while I would love it to drop because I'm a big Rockstar fan and I love GTA series and I love the Red Dead series. I don't mind if they were to delay it. Like if again,
Yeah.
if you need to delay a game because you need to work on it some more, so be it. I'm never going to complain about that. That's something that I'm
Now,
all
this is
good
a
for.
game where I don't think they're going to be waiting for some other showcase or anything, right? I think they'd have their own
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever they're going to do, right? So they're just going to announce, "Hey, we're going to talk about GTA on blah 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 date," right? So yeah, it doesn't have to be like, "Hey, we're waiting for like a Summer Game Fest or an Xbox stage or a PlayStation stage." I think they're just going to do their own thing. So yeah, hopefully in the next few weeks, they're probably not going to interfere with Nintendo, which is April 2, right? So we have that. Maybe after that, right? That they finally say, "All right, here we go. We're ready to show something." So
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
And there's lots of speculation around what the whole premise of the game is going to be and stuff, because we've seen the one main protagonist, in jail and all that stuff, but her love interest is a cop, and where that whole dynamic is going to be pretty cool if you get to play as both, one being on the side of the law, the other being against the law, like. How that all plays out is could be really freaking cool, depending on how they write this. And so I'm excited for that. I want to see more of what's going to go on there. And that second trailer should show us more about that. Story wise, anyway, get a little bit more information there. So, I mean, I'm just waiting for that to launch because at some point this year, we are going to get that second trailer. Don't know if we're going to get that third deep dive necessarily, but that second trailer will drop this year. And I can't wait for it. But you brought it up. Speaking of Nintendo, by the way, they had their Nintendo Direct this week. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, what did you think about that? My son actually liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought there was some good stuff in there. There was a lot of things that look. I'm expecting a lot more to come with the Switch 2 launch. Obviously, that's going to be the big
Yeah, me
marquee
too.
title.
That's what I'm waiting
This
for.
was Yeah, this was more like the last hurrah of the Switch, right? And so cool. There were still some good things in there. Metroid Prime was there, which was interesting.
I
I wish
thought
they
that they
showed
would
like
leave
Switch 2
Metroid
version
Prime for the Switch
for
2.
Switch 2, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously this can be cross-gen, right? We know that there's gonna be a lot of
Yeah, for
cross-gen
sure.
for the first like year or so. Um, so I'd expect Metroid Prime will be both. But I'd love to see like the upscale graphics, right? But yeah, I thought there were some filler things, obviously, but there was also some good stuff that they showed. There was also those Sony titles that are that are coming
Yeah,
over to
tell
Switch.
us about that.
Whatever.
The Hot Shots Golf, and there was one called I don't even know what
Patapan, yeah,
Patapan.
Patapan.
Okay.
1 and 2, and there's another one, but yeah, it's older, like PlayStation stuff that's just not doing anything anymore, and they're like, hey, why don't we like have Ben and Namco publish this everywhere else, in a sort of remaster type thing. Fair enough, and it's interesting that they don't want to do it themselves. Like, is that really that bad to do yourself? But whatever. And of course, to be petty, it will come to Xbox. It'll
Yeah,
come to
why is
PC,
that? That's
Switch,
that's
and
something somebody asked me. I had that question posed to me. They said, "Why do you think that PlayStation would not put these two games on Xbox?"
I don't know. I mean, like, let's take the game types. They look like games that Nintendo has put out, right? So like, okay, maybe the audience, it would fit better with them. That's a possibility, right? PC is just PC, so whatever. The audience is everybody in the world, right? But PC is just wide open. So fair enough. And maybe you think like Xbox is a more mature audience. That's a possibility, right? I don't know if that's what they're thinking. So whatever they want, whatever.
Because I'm trying to
It would
figure
be
out.
nice to get rid of that limitation now, but
Yeah, because I'm
that's
trying to figure out the
where they
cost
are.
of, say, trying to produce a game, trying to port a game over, these games especially.
Like, that kinda game, it won't be that much
Yeah,
because we're not
compare.
talking about something that's graphically demanding. This is an old game, the code's already there. If you're gonna open it up
That's right.
anyways, then it's like, it
Because
doesn't take that much more to put it on Xbox.
somebody tried to tell me that it was because they view them as a competitor. And I said, that's kind of strange because Xbox is already saying they're putting more games out on PlayStation. So how are they
Yeah,
truly a competitor at this point anymore when it comes to that sort
yeah.
of thing? And when you boil it down, the cost of what it would be to port the games over opposed to, versus the cost of what they might make in sales, even if they're just not that many sales, a sale is a freaking sale. So you would think that they would
Mhm.
want to put this everywhere to try to get as many sales as possible, kind of like what Xbox is doing. It makes a lot
Yeah.
of business sense, I will say. So the
Especially
only
when you're
reason,
talking about games
yeah,
that aren't gonna sell you consoles, right? This is not selling you a PlayStation. These are very old games, so why not? Just maximize your utility of that IP, get as much money as you can out of it. I think that's first, I love the idea that they're doing it, right? They're at least taking
yeah,
their old catalog stuff and saying, "We're gonna do something with it." That's a good thing. The second part is put it everywhere, but at least they're putting it on Switch. That at least is happening. That's a good thing. That's step 1 at least.
yeah. It's just the only thing I can come up with is, well, they just don't want to put it on Xbox. They just want
Yeah,
to
they're just
keep
being
it
petty.
from Xbox gamers. And
Yeah.
that's weird.
Which won't
That's,
matter eventually if the Steam thing happens because 'cause they're putting it on Steam. So
yeah, exactly, right? We talked about that. If you have the whole Steam and everything opened up to Xbox, the future console anyway, how are they going to prevent them from playing their games? They'd have to block Windows. That's basically what you get down to. It's like, are they going to block
Mhm.
Windows? Can that happen? Unless, you know what Zucker told me? He said, what if they try to make a deal with Steam to create something to help them block Xbox from accessing their games on Steam?
So
I don't know. This is what
look,
Zucker asked me. He goes, it's
I
possible they
don't
can
think
try to get them to do something.
yeah, this is all fanboyism, right?
Yeah.
From Valve's perspective, first off, Microsoft is a key partner. They make their money off of what? Microsoft Windows. They're not gonna f around with that. Second, they have a very cordial relationship. They don't have any reason to do something like that. Third, what does it gain them? If they start playing that game, then everybody will come to them with some sort of baloney, and they're like, "No, our consumer buys a game. We want them to use it anywhere they can play it. That's it." Right?
True.
So it's just not something they're gonna do. I don't think Gabe is gonna do that. That's just my opinion. I don't think he would ever go down this path. He would rather delist your game and say, "F off, Sony. We don't need you," because that's a fact. They made billions before PlayStation ever came to them. They do not need PlayStation. PlayStation heavily needs them, not the other way around.
That's the way I look at
PlayStation
it
can
as
go to
well.
hell.
Yeah.
So
Because
it's
I
not the
asked him
way it
point blank,
is.
I go, well, what do they get out of it in return? I mean, what would be the point of them saying, yeah, we'll go ahead and build that
Why
for
would
you.
they wanna
We'll
F
block
with
them.
Microsoft?
Yeah, because I don't think that Sony has that kind of money to really put towards something like that. I don't think they do.
No.
So
I
I don't
think they
know.
want that
It's a
cordial
strange
relationship
situation.
because Windows is their lifeblood. It is what it is, right? They wanna have that partnership with Windows and Valve. I think that's a big deal to them. So
Yeah.
I just don't see them doing that.
Again, as we were talking about it last week, I know we just talked about it, folks, but the more I talk with friends and stuff about the fact that they can have a completely open platform on an Xbox console, that would be the biggest and best move for them. It would really benefit them because so many people I've talked to, including casuals out there, have stated they would be more apt to buy an Xbox if that were the case, if it was an open platform like that, and they can get their Steam library and everything on there, rather than a closed platform like PlayStation. That is
I'm loving it. If they
that is
do
a
it,
really
it's
good
gonna be the
feature.
best thing.
Yeah. And it's just I don't know, man. It's like that Android versus iPhone thing. It's closed platform versus open. It makes a lot of sense. Um Now, we could talk a bit about because the news is really slim this week. But anyway, AC Shadows gets 3 million players. Okay. This game has become the second highest selling title ever in the Ubisoft developed franchise. So, so much for go woke, go broke boys, right? I mean, those guys who were hyping all that up, about it being woke and everything. It's gonna die, blah blah blah. Whatever. Um, you know what? Make it make sense. That's all I say. Put whatever you want in a game, developers. You can throw your ideologies in there just as long as you write a good story and it makes sense. That's fine. Just don't be preachy and stuff about it. That's all. Now, along with this, though, we saw that Tencent came out and decided to, buy into a subsidiary of their company of Ubisoft, and basically they're going to take like big key franchises like Splinter Cell, AC, Assassin's Creed, and a few others. But anyways, they're big franchises, and they are putting money into that. Tencent is putting money into that. They've got a 25% minority stake in the subsidiary. So they will have a lot of say in there. They don't own it, but they will be able to do some things. And I think this is where we're going to see some mass layoffs, Hargeet, because right now, this company, Ubisoft, has almost 20,000 employees. And I think they're going to cut that. Unfortunately, we're going to see some layoffs there for sure. But I wonder, and I wanted to ask you, Hargeet, what does this really mean with them having this 25% minority stake in the subsidiary for Tencent? What does it mean for Ubisoft? Could this be good or bad? Tell us what you think.
It is hard to tell. Look, from my perspective, I think this is a way to get around the layoff issues that they're going to have to do, right? So this way they can transfer the teams that make money and squeeze the rest. That's really what's going to happen. And it was always inevitable. 20,000 people is like the size of Xbox. Just think about that. It's
Dude,
the size
massive.
of Xbox. And Xbox has how many studios making how much money, right? Plus an entire platform, all of that combined, right? All the marketing, all the showcases, all of that, all those people, that's 20,000 people. Right? And they have Activision, Blizzard, all these companies, King, right? All that stuff, Bethesda. It's too much for Ubisoft to have that when they're making very few games and they just don't have the revenue structure that's equivalent to, like, Xbox is near like what, 20 billion a year. I think close to that. They're up to this up through this fiscal, the 3 quarters that they had made 900 million euro. That's just not, it's just not in the same league. You can't have 20,000 employees. You just can't. So there was going to be some layoffs. There's just no way around it. They have to do it. So I guess they're trying to preserve the teams that are making money, put them in this subsidiary, back them with some financials, and then maybe squeeze the rest. I guess I don't know what they're gonna do, but they have to do something. You can hear it in some of the language, the corporate speak. You're all valuable. Goodbye. That's really all that means. Goodbye. So so there's obviously something going to happen there. There are works councils that are in Europe. You have to deal with those works councils before you can let go of people. I'm sure that's a whole bunch of rigmarole that they have to go through. I don't know where all the employees are because they're a global company, right? So the majority of the employees could be all over the place and may not even be in Europe. So, but we'll have to see how all that works out. In some ways, this is good in that it shores up the games that are actually making money. That's cool. But they do need a serious restructure. And I think what this did is say, hey, we're going to manage the stuff not through the Guillemot family that's making money. And then Guillemot family, you have to now deal with the stuff that isn't and figure out what you want to do with it, right? And disposition it. And then this is eventually going to merge into the company that's being created. I think that's going to end up happening, I don't know, down the road. That's my guess. Maybe eventually this sub company will become the parent and pull out the IPs that they want to keep. But I'm not sure what they're going to end up. I don't know. The only reason you would create this is to have that separate management entity. So that's what I'm guessing is happening. But this is all conjecture.
Yeah,
It's just a weird thing to do. So unless that's what you're trying to do, you're trying to say, hey, we're going to phase out the Guillemot family. This is the new management structure. They'll have a say, but really it's going to be Tencent driving this to drive profitability. make better decisions to make sure that they can actually get things out, make money, and do the right, do the right games at the right size, right? So we'll see
Nine,
what they do.
Nine Lives in the chat says Shadows was so successful it sold to Tencent. No, see, the success of Shadows has nothing to do with this Tencent merger. Really, it's not really a buyout.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. If these types of deals, Hargy, I mean, you would know this, they don't get done overnight. These types of deals weren't predicated on, oh, let's see the sales of Shadows. They've been doing this for at least months, probably years. And we've been here, and remember this, Ubisoft, we've been hearing about them shopping around for a long time. Years we've heard rumors. Tencent was, and them were already in the process of making some sort of deal. There, yes, is Assassin's Creed Shadows a success? It looks like it is. Everything is indicating that it will be for them.
It has a trajectory of success. Let's just say that, right? 3 million players isn't enough, but hopefully it will get there. But especially through the holiday season, we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
But would it make enough money to really save this company in the turmoil they're in? No. I mean, they're too big.
My goodness, no.
Way too big. Way too much money being spent. It was impossible. Okay. So honestly, the Tencent thing is probably the best case scenario they could have gotten. This subsidiary, because they still hold the majority stake in their own IP. They still have their own IP. They've not sold it to somebody else. So it makes a lot of sense that they're doing this. Tencent is that big company that can fund them a lot of money to make games, hopefully make some good games, because this is where I'm going to rant a little bit about AC Shadows. So last week I told you guys that I started AC Shadows, and while I wasn't in love with it, I was enjoying it. Okay. Even when I quit the game, I was enjoying it to a certain degree. The combat, the stealth mechanics, I should say, that they've added to the combat with the one particular character, Naue, amazing. Really good stuff. Love that stuff. However, the way the game is structured is still like the recent bloated Assassin's Creed games. And while I did like a lot of these bloated Assassin's Creed games, there was various reasons for why I liked it. I thought they were structured better than this. I feel like I'm forced to do more things in this game than I was in even Valhalla, or even, going back to Odyssey, which I spent the most time in. Everything feels like, you know what it feels like to me with this game, Hargy? It feels like they said, how could we make today's RPG AC fans happy and the old AC fans happy? So they tried to create this middle road, and they said, let's change a few things, maybe get it to that stealth aspect and more realism to the game, and take out all the mythical stuff that's possible in an AC game. Take out all the stuff that we went through with even Valhalla, with Odin, going after Thor's hammer, going after Odin's spear, going after all these cool weapons and gear and stuff. They don't have none of that in this game. They basically, what they did was came full circle and tried, because Ghost of Tsushima copied a lot of Ubisoft AC games. But it's like they tried to copy the Ghost of Tsushima game and did a poor job of doing it.
Wow.
It's just, as I'm progressing through the game, and again, I was 31 hours into this game, and every time I would try to progress just the freaking main campaign, I was sitting there looking at what opens up, what they force me to do before I can finish that particular quest. And I got tired of it. I said, you know what? I've been going through this, and I don't like the upgrade system at all. I don't like the 2 currency upgrade system, because it forces you to go for knowledge points, even though you're getting a bunch of mastery points. You can't use them until you get rank up those knowledge points. And I was just getting frustrated with the game, and I was saying, you know what? Although I'm having fun with the stealth mechanics, I'm looking at the map, and you can actually look at all the castles and stuff and see what type of gear you can go after. There's nothing there of note that I'm like, wow, I got to go after that. Just like there was with the other AC games. I like that mythical stuff, and I like those mythical beasts and stuff you would fight. In Odyssey, I fought a Cyclops. I fought just tons of crazy creatures and stuff that were in that game. You don't get none of that here. Again, it's more realism, and it's more like it's trying to be a Ghost of Tsushima, but it doesn't have that story I like as much, and they just have a lot more bloat that they make you do. And I was like, it's going to take me. I counted up all the main guys I had to go after, and I go, man, this is going to take me another 30 hours to beat. I said, I'm done. I am just done with these companies trying to waste my time. I'm learning a lesson here as I go along. And AC Shadows is the first Assassin's Creed game, actually second, that I haven't beat. The other one is Black Flag. I quit on Black Flag. And that's because I don't like ship battles. I don't like boats in games. I don't like being a
Black
pirate.
Flag was
I don't
so
like any
good.
of that stuff. So that's why I quit
Black
on
Flag
that.
was so good.
Yeah, I just don't like the ship stuff.
Valhalla, that was what Valhalla was to me. It was
Yeah.
so overbloated, and it made you do stuff that I just did not want to do, and it was like, whatever. But it kept going and going and going. Fine, whatever.
Did you finish
Yeah, that was my
Valhalla?
fear. I did.
You finished it, but
That
you
was
were
my
kind of
fear.
just like, let's just get it over with, right?
Exactly.
See,
Exactly.
and that's
And I'm
what
like,
I'm
"Yeah, whatever."
learning. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to get to that point with a game. I don't want to be like, no, let's just get it over with and just be upset at it. I said, you know what? Rather than be upset, I'm going to put it down now, and I'm going to say, you know what? I would give that game a 7 out of 10. I think it's somewhere around a 7, and I'm fine with that. But I played enough of the game to know that it was enjoyable, but it's overstayed its welcome. So
Yeah,
I put it
unfortunately,
aside.
that's what I'm afraid of with Assassin's Creed now,
Yeah.
is that they do that, right? Mirage to me was about the right size. It just had the story. You went through the story. There was no, oh, to do the next thing, you have to just, for some stupid reason, go to these 5 different areas and do this crap thing over and over again. It was just, hey, you have objectives that make sense. You're going after the objective to clear out something. Fair enough, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of the thing. If they, with Valhalla, you had to like clear out these encampments and move forward. You had to do like, this is just no. It was the same thing, unfortunately, with like Miles Morales, right? That they had, they basically had one game mechanic, which if they had done it the right way, you just basically clear out this area. It's an office building, right, with these people in it, whatever, right? So fair enough. But then they tried to make it longer. So what they did is they replicated that 4 times. And I'm like, now you're just wasting my time because I don't want to do this again and again and again. There was no point, right? It was great
Oh,
if you did
yeah.
it once. You had that game mechanic. It was like,
Well,
this is cool. I'm doing stealth and going through this is awesome.
that's
But then
that's
it
the
was
other
just
problem I had.
rather
Like
was
once
repeating.
you
I'm like,
fight one
eh.
boss in Shadows, you fought them all. They're like the
Yeah.
same type of fight over and
Yeah.
over, and it's
And
just
so
like,
because
okay,
otherwise you need to make it like something cool that, hey, there's an objective. But like when it's like, hey, I just want to waste your time. So you're going to do this 4 times for me.
yep,
Like, well, why?
yep.
Like, why? Right? Make it useful to me because okay, I'm going to this other thing because it has this other thing I need to get to make more sense of it. Okay, fine. No, it was just we're just gonna give you this thing
But
4
yeah,
times.
there
Like,
was like
and
gear
this,
and stuff you can go after in Valhalla that it's not a here. It's like
yeah,
like if you've picked up one of the weapons, there's like 4 weapons to each character, I think 3 or 4. And once you pick up one, you've picked them all up. They're all
yeah.
basically the same. And yeah, they have better stats than others, but it's like, really, that's what I'm going after here. There's nothing cool or even cool looking. Like, they
Yeah.
don't have any flames on a sword or anything. And I like that kind of stuff. Like, and it's
Now
just
that's the
not in
same thing
here.
in grindy games, right? So there's a lot of that with grindy games where you just sit there and keep grinding levels,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So some people like that. I find that annoying. I don't want to grind. Just make it like reasonable that as I'm progressing, things just work, right? So I don't know. It's a balance, right? So if you're playing an RPG, for instance, you do have to do some level of like go and do missions or side things or
Oh
whatever to
yeah.
actually
There's
up your
always that.
levels,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
It's when
sometimes you
Hargeet,
grind a
when you're
little, but
picking a main campaign, like, see, and I don't like the fact that they don't show you like, okay, a list of main quests and side quests. Instead, they hide everything. They kind of just give you this image of, okay, well, this middle ring of baddies are the guys that are part of the main quest. But when you choose one, it magically 4 quests will appear underneath him. Go do these 4 quests and then come back, my son. And I'm just like, after doing 6 of them, I'm like, fuck you. I'm not coming back and doing more. I'm done. It's just that way. Some guy, Jean
Doesn't make
Michael,
me wanna
Jean
start the
Michael,
game,
he
but
says, "How dare you not like AC Shadows? That's racist." No, no, I know he's making a joke. Boba Fett, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
even
yeah.
know, you've played Valhalla and enjoyed it. You know what I'm talking about. There's no cool gear or weapons to go after. The only like things that look decent is the ones you can buy in the Helix shop. And I'm sorry, I'm not. And I've heard you can get them through grinding, but I'm not doing all that just to get a cool looking sword or outfit. Like it, it's not the same. There was way more cool stuff in Odyssey and Valhalla
Mm.
or even Origins. It's just not there in this game. They tried to make it too much like Ghost of Tsushima and they failed at it. It's just not as good. The stealth is better, way better. I'll give it that. But the combat itself is not as good. But I want to see how you feel about it. Like as you progress, I want to hear what you have to say later on. Like, how many hours are you in, by the way?
I just at the beginning.
Okay,
I'm not
okay,
doing I'm just at the point where you start playing as Naue.
yeah. And I also don't like that they confined you to basically traversing on the road. Like you in the old AC games, I could literally run across mountains and stuff and climb and stuff. And here it's like, nope, it's Japan. We've got these mountains. So this is the excuse I get. It's Japan. There's a lot of mountains and you can't cross these mountains like that. And I'm like, talk to Ghost of Tsushima because I did it over there. Like
Mm.
you're just preventing me from traversing the way I want to traverse the game. And even when you can go to certain areas like meadows and stuff that are open and you cross these rice paddies and stuff, there's nothing there. There's no enemies. When you do come across enemies, it's like these skirmishes of enemies fighting each other and you could literally walk right past them and not engage. Or if you want to, engage. It's the game wastes a lot of time. I'm not letting the game waste my time anymore. Boba Fett Gaming in the chat says you're confusing me with Ashtree. With Ashtree, the only contestant you get all 5 questions. Oh, what? I don't know what he's talking about. I think you're talking about 5 questions in Ashtree. What? I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, don't know why I read that. Yeah. Yeah, Boba Fett said he's running through bushes for days. Yeah, and sliding down hills. Like even small rocks you can't climb. There's literally like a 6-foot rock and it won't let me climb it. I'll just slide down. I'm just like, this is dumb. This is not an AC game. Well, to me, it's not an AC game. To you, Hargeet, like I said, I think they tried to play both sides. I think they tried to make the game
Yeah.
for the old audience and the new audience, tried to stick somewhere in the middle, and it fails to deliver on both. That's just my assumption. Like Colt said, Colt was having ups and downs with it. He was liking it, not liking it, not liking it. And by the end, he pushed himself to beat it. He really liked how it ended. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So he gave it like an 8, I think. But he was 80 hours in when he beat it. And I'm like, that's 80 freaking hours, dude. Like, I don't want to spend 80 hours in this particular game. It's not that fun. If it was a shorter game, Hargeet, I think I would have liked this game a lot more. If this was a
I think that's the
20-hour
problem. I wish they
experience,
made it
I
shorter.
think it would have been good.
Yeah.
I think it would have
I
been
wish
good.
they made them, shorter. And I'm with you with that. I think like 35, 40 hours. It like if you want to like fully do everything, maybe 50,
Yeah.
right? Is like really cool. Like that's a good target. But they made Mirage, it didn't go anywhere, unfortunately. People didn't buy it.
Yeah, I
So
didn't. I have a sneaky suspicion a lot of the loud people are in the minority when it comes to AC games, especially the crowd that does like those old ones. I think they're in the minority. Obviously, I mean, Valhalla sold over 20 million copies, and it made a bunch of money for them. It was like their biggest selling
yeah.
freaking game in the franchise. Steelofax says, salute Fonz and Hargeet. Assassin's Creed Shadows is the best Assassin's Creed, hands down. I don't agree. I think it's one of the worst, to be honest. But, you know, I'm not going to tell you it's not good for you. Like, everybody has their own freaking, you know, opinions on these games. And I can't wrong somebody for their opinion. So
yeah, for Mirage, by the way, I spent pretty much even 40 hours.
Okay. And but is that doing everything? Is that pretty much doing
pretty much everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
40 hours, whole game.
But you know, by the end of Valhalla, I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, I just want to finish it. Yeah, I got the same way with Valhalla. Because
that one I spent a lot more time in.
It's very bloated. All the AC games are. But that sense of immersion you get with the other games and like that exploration aspect, you know, finding something new around the corner, never happens in Shadows. Never. It's just, it's so basic that you find things in chests and castles, dude. That's where everything is, and that's it. But anyways, moving on from that. Hey, Brand Mac 31. Thank you for, I think it's Brand Mac.
Yeah, Brand just FYI, 170 hours I spent in.
Damn, that's more than me. Thank you for the 5, by the way. He says, Fonz, you're hilarious. I don't know why I read that. You questioned your own judgment. Thank you. Sometimes I'm retarded. I'll just say it. Sometimes I am. It happens, you know. 1 in 36 kids born today have autism. Maybe I'm one of those. I don't know, but who knows? I could have it. Let's talk about, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? What else has happened this week, Hargeet?
What else has happened this week?
Because it's been a slow week, guys. Boba Fett game said it took him 2 years to beat Valhalla. Facts, bro. I don't think it took me that long. A couple of months, but. Tried Atomfall yet? Have you tried Atomfall yet, Hargeet?
I have not tried it yet, no.
Colt is actually liking that game. He's playing it right now. He's liking it. He calls it Fallout Light.
Okay.
I haven't tried it though. The performance is really good on PC. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know what else has really been happening that's
it's nothing really big.
That big. I mean, we have the Nintendo thing, but major news is really next week when we get the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, right? So
and we should start getting a lot of news in May when it comes to gaming, because it's right before E3, or you know what was E3. So we should hear a lot more. Steelofax says Atomfall is fire. One game I did try, because, you know, I'll sit there and try to play some demos and stuff of games before I buy on Steam. They had the first Berserker, Kazan, that a lot of people are playing it right now. It's a Souls-like game. It's very cool looking. I'll give it that. It's got like this, almost this hand-drawn look of the protagonist. Looks like an anime character, really. And then you've got like realistic environments around him. And it looks really cool. Plays really good too. I was playing the demo, getting my ass handed to me though. It's hard as hell. And I know there's a difficulty slider, but I didn't try to do all that and put it on easy. But anyways, one of the reasons why I did not pull the trigger on it though, is because I was reading a lot of Steam reviews, and there's quite a few people that don't recommend it based on certain game design choices that are not challenging, but just frustrating. And I understood what they were talking about. For instance, they have a boss that you fight that's completely invisible. Like, all you can see is footsteps.
Okay.
And they said you don't see him until he grabs you, like, and then you see him, like, and it's just too late by that point. And it's like, they said that he's a really frustrating boss. And I saw several people talk about him and other aspects of the game that were just frustrating and not really a good game design. And so they were like, yeah, I'm just, you know, the game's good up until you get to these certain things, and then it's very frustrating. So I'm just like, I don't want to frustrate myself. So I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to play that one. But it looks good. It looks really good. It's a first game, I think, by that studio. And for the first time, if that's true, just like Wukong was for that other studio, amazing. Good stuff. Web Dave
Yeah,
says
Game Science, is that who made that?
Game Science
Wukong, I
made
think.
Wukong.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, Fonz. Fire emojis. Hargeet. More fire emojis. Great content from the crew. More fire emojis. Thank you, Web Dave. I appreciate it very much, man.
Hey, Web Dave.
And that blue number says, I finally caught you live. Yeah, you were here earlier. You were like, I'm ready. And then we showed up a little late, and you're back now. What's up, Holly? Good to see you. We'll be seeing her in LA in June.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be there.
It's a minor one, but like on the PlayStation Store, the top pre-order games now are all Xbox games.
Oh, yeah.
But hey,
well, don't they need games right now? Don't that need to be happening over there? If you have a console and your console manufacturer isn't putting out enough games for you, you've got to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
And Xbox is providing that.
MLB The Show, and I don't know how well that's going to do. This is the first year it's not in Game Pass for a while, right? So we'll see how that plays out. I don't know what that's going to mean. We'll see. But yeah, they put that out. I don't know how well that's doing, but a lot of pre-orders for Indiana Jones, which is now the top pre-order, and Forza Horizon 5. And
I thought they didn't want to play those
soon,
games.
so.
I thought Sony guys
Yeah,
didn't want to play those games.
Yeah, I thought they were all shit, right?
Yeah.
Nobody likes that. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? But
1.5 million sold for Game of the Year on their box, Astrobot. Yeah. They don't like games. They don't like their own games, apparently. I don't know.
Apparently Sea of Thieves beat that
on
PlayStation.
It did, didn't it? Wow. I didn't even think about that one. Now, what would be funny is if Indiana Jones sells more. Because, you know what? Let's face it. Forza Horizon 5 is going to sell very well on PlayStation. I mean, honestly, it's the best racing game out. It's the best racing game. So, it's going to sell well. But Indiana Jones, if it sells more than 1.5 mil, that's going to look pretty sus. That's going to be crazy. Can't wait. Can't wait to see that stuff. It's interesting to me.
And then Doom's coming up. That's going to be a big one over there. And then, there's more to come. Ninja Gaiden, COD, right? There's Outer Worlds 2. Look on this side of the aisle, right? We have a lot of games. They have Ghost of Yotai coming. They have Death Stranding 2, which I know is going to come everywhere as well, right? We know that that's going to happen. But at least for now, it's an exclusive coming in June. So they have that.
We need to see more of what's going on with Ghost of Yotai, because they've already confirmed that just recently. They confirmed on Twitter, the developers Sucker Punch. They said it is coming 2025. They confirmed it, reconfirmed it, just to let everybody know. Yes, we are going to be hitting this 2025 year. But the one thing that we got to find out is maybe they're waiting for GTA 6, the announcement on a date. Could be.
Very likely. And if you think of it this way, though, like you have GTA 6 coming out, you have all these other games that are coming out in the fall, and then you have Xbox putting out Outer Worlds and Call of Duty and Ninja Gaiden. Are those going to compete with Ghost of Yotai on that platform? Will it hit the sales for Ghost of Yotai? I think they will. I think there will be a hit there. Is it going to be significant? I don't know, but you'd think maybe Ninja Gaiden and Ghost of Yotai conflict there. That could be an interesting one, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Ghost of Yotai was a big hit for them. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was a big hit for them. So the franchise is like solidified. This next one, I think will sell well too. And depending on how good this one is, we'll see what the next one does, Yep.
We'll see, right? So far, this one isn't getting as much negative press as or negative impressions as Intergalactic.
Oh, Intergalactic is going to be a mess. Oh, by the way, I got a comment. the last show. I said I didn't want to play as a bald woman protagonist, and that's just my thing. Like I don't want to play as somebody. Like, look, people, somebody called me racist for saying that, and I didn't even bring race into it. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Oh.
Everybody out there, I don't know. I would say the majority. I'm not going to say everybody. I'm not going to lump into everybody into one box here. But I would like to think that a lot of us gamers, anyway, we like to play decent looking characters in a game. We don't want to play as certain, men or females that are not, attractive to us at all. It's just, we'd rather play with an attractive character, whether it be man or woman. That's what I was getting at. It's just like, I don't want to play as a bald female. I don't care about that. But moreover, it was more about Neil Druckmann. I don't like Neil Druckmann's writing. Now, for anybody who talks about, well, he wrote The Last of Us. Well, guess who helped him write The Last of Us? Bruce Straley. Bruce Straley, who was the lead guy that was in charge of narrative for the game. He freaking helped him. And there's quotes out there with Neil Druckmann saying, Bruce, what was the quote? It was so crazy. I don't want to say this is verbatim because it's not. I forgot what it was, but it was something like, Bruce helped me keep the weirdness away from the story or The Last of Us when they wrote it. Like, he helped him freaking steer that ship. When Bruce left, Neil Druckmann got some other lady to help him write The Last of Us 2, and we all know how that turned out. The writing was shit compared to the first one. Before that, Neil Druckmann had written a lot of Uncharted games and stuff, but guess who else was there? Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig's an amazing writer. So it's one of those things where, like, I just don't trust Neil. I don't trust him on his own. And I don't trust him, to write a good story, especially if it's based around religion and stuff. I just don't care to play a game like that. Just don't. So that's why I don't want to play the game. But yeah, for the guy who said that I was being racist, get out of here. That's so stupid. Yeah, somebody else said I was racist because of my comments on AC Shadows and said, oh, you're racist. You don't like black and Asians. And I'm like, I don't like black and Asians. Like, bro, my dad, freaking Hargeet's right here, my co-host. Like, what? Hello? But these guys are freaking crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, in other good news, Game Informer came back.
Yes, I heard about that. Who remembers getting magazines? Me?
Yeah, I don't know if I actually got the Game Informer magazines, but I used Game Informer all the time. For those who don't know, they keep a very good tracker list of all the upcoming releases. So take a look at that. But I loved that list because it was so useful to see what came out when, right, and what's coming up. And they have like all the platforms for it. So thank God that's back. So, but yeah, take a look. They do all sorts of stuff as far as normal reviews and all that news and all that stuff too, right? But yeah, they came back. That's awesome.
The only magazines I subscribed to back in the day when I was a youngin', before the interwebs, guys, we had to read, was the official Xbox and PlayStation magazines. That was it. Oh, sorry. Got to go even further back. Nintendo Power. That was the other one.
Yeah, Nintendo Power.
That was the other one. Those three were the only ones I ever subscribed to because I was young at the time. And plus, or I was a young adult with the Xbox and PlayStation 1. But anyways, what was cool about the Xbox and PlayStation 1s is they came with the demo discs. That's what I liked. Every month I would get a demo disc of various games or whatever that was coming out, or one game or whatever. And I had a blast with that. Like, we didn't have a lot of money in at the time. Like, I didn't make a lot of money. And I was just like, that was a game I played for a little while, was those demos, just play them over and over. Ron G with $1.99. Here we go. He says, stop it, Fonz. Interlactic is going to be a masterpiece.
It's got a like more than 2-to-1 dislike to like ratio on the video. I mean, I was willing to give it a chance. I was willing to give it a chance. So I didn't see any of the negative stuff. I'm like, hey, it's got like a retro 80s
Yeah.
look. I'm willing to,
I
wait
like
to
the
see what the
retro
gameplay
80s
really is
thing. Yeah.
eventually.
I like that
And I'm
aspect.
like, looks okay, fine. I didn't care about the bald lady cat thing either. I'm like, yeah,
I
whatever.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. But man, did it get negative reaction? Holy crap! And it can't be from just like Xbox people. It's got to be
No,
from PlayStation
no.
people. And PlayStation people piled on this thing, and I'm like, okay, fair enough, like
And
whatever.
I'm not even going
Um,
down the rabbit hole of woke. Not everything is freaking woke. I'm even tired of that word because people use it so stupidly and just. I mean, they use it too much, way too much. Not every game is woke. It's ridiculous. Just because there's a woman protagonist doesn't mean a game is woke. We've had women protagonists for decades. Just because there's gay people in a game doesn't make it woke. We had gay characters for decades in video games. But it's in how you write the characters within these games that matter. It's all about substance. And that's all that should matter in a game. That's why there's certain games that people have attached that word woke to, and I'm in agreement with. I'm like, yeah, like Veilguard, very woke, just trash. The way they wrote the characters in that game was bad. That's the way not to do it. But then you have other games that they attach this word to. That's like, what are you doing? Like, just because there's a woman protagonist doesn't make Split Fiction because there was two women that you play as in the game. I'm like, they attached woke to that. I'm like, are you guys fucking dumb? Yes, you are. Obviously, it's just stop. Not everything is fucking woke. I'm so tired of that. So tired of that.
yeah, it's gone a little too far. You brought up another one, which is gonna be my next one, which is Split Fiction is not an EA Play Pro.
Somebody said,
That is
Fonz,
a
you are a powerful
very
woman. Thank you. Greatness awaits. I'm such a powerful woman. Hear me roar. God, whatever. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Hargeet. I just had to say it.
yeah, so
I
Split
read that.
Split Fiction is not an EA Play Pro. That is very interesting
Yeah.
because EA Play Pro, its advertising says all
Oh,
EA games
that's
will
right.
be day and date in EA Play Pro. Um,
Oh, he said you
I wonder if
fear. I thought he said I am a powerful woman. Oh my God. He said you fear. I fear a powerful woman. Oh man, I read that so bad. Oh man, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Yeah, no, that's crazy that it's not an EA Pro. They advertise all freaking new. Man, that makes me think of the whole Game Pass thing again. Remember when they were wondering about COD? Will it be in there? Will the new COD be in there? It better be. Yeah, it was in there. So
um so I wonder if that's even like okay to do. I like they advertise that all games are there. I'm wondering if there's a lawsuit pending on this because that's
that is,
clearly false
yeah,
advertising,
for
right?
sure, 100%.
So it sounds like a class action lawsuit needs to be filed for any enterprising lawyer out there. Um
No, that
so,
100% they should be sued for that, and you're going to win.
yeah.
You're going to
I mean, it's
win.
clearly on their marketing. It says all EA games. Like it's like okay, this is an EA game. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
very
don't like
odd
that
that
they're
that
doing
happened.
that. I don't like that they did that. That's terrible. That sets a terrible precedence. Uh,
Exactly, and so you have to like call them up for it and
you
say,
have to.
okay, you're gonna either fix your wording and then tell us what won't come and what will come, or honor your agreement, right? And everybody who paid ahead of time, for them, that's absolutely a loss, right? They paid with the understanding I'm gonna get this game.
Yeah.
And that did not happen. And so this is a very odd situation, right? So,
Oh
um,
man.
hey,
Fuzzy Tomato says, I'm
well,
sure they have fine print that says they can do whatever they want though. I don't know.
perhaps,
I don't know. But when you
perhaps,
advertise and it's out there, see, that's the key thing. If you're truly putting big like advertisements about, hey, come play all our games day one, that's all their games day one.
yeah.
That's going to be hard to get around. Ron G, thank you very for the $1.99. He says Naughty Dog and Rockstar is the best in the business. I'll fix that for you. Rockstar is the best in the business. There you go. That one's free. Take Naughty Dog out of there. They were really good. They were really good with The Last of Us. After that, though, they've fallen off hard, very hard. And a lot of people, it's crazy because you brought it up with Intergalactic and all the dislikes, man. That's a lot of dislikes. A lot of people are upset by that.
I mean, good luck to them, but it's very hard to come back from that.
You know
If
what's
there's
coming
that
out
much
soon?
negative, go ahead, sorry.
We know people playing it right now. South of Midnight.
Yes, that's
South of
coming up.
Midnight.
Next week is the early access
Yep.
for on the 3rd of April. So it's officially 8th of April. If you want to play it through Game Pass, you can buy the upgrade for $10, and you'll get it in early access if you want. But yeah, it's coming up. So we'll see how it is. A lot of people are reviewing it. We don't have the actual reviews yet because they're all under embargo. But
I've
yeah,
already heard of
coming up.
somebody's full review already. I've already heard it from a friend, and
Yeah, we can't
I'm not
tell
going to say
people,
anything
but
about
yeah.
it because I can't.
Yeah,
But
so
but
we
it,
will just leave it there.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so it's coming up. Hey, it's in Game Pass. Try it out. But look at so many other games too, right? So Adamfall just came out. It's apparently a pretty good game as well. You can give that a chance. But yeah, there's lots of stuff coming out. Descenders Next is coming up. Expedition 33 is also next month, right? So
Expedition 33, that's one I wanted to talk about too. So I saw Mav got a little early access to it last week. He was able to get a code from them to play a piece of the game anyways. Now, I'm looking forward to this game, but I don't know if I'm going to like it. Like, there's parts of it that I think are really cool, and I think the voice acting is really top notch. And like, I'm looking forward to a good narrative. It's the gameplay that is, and I've only seen a small slice of it, of course, just watching through Mav. So maybe it could get better. I know it's turn based, and I'm fine with that. But just what little bit I saw was kind of like a turnoff, and I was just like, I hope this game's better. I still want to try it because I was looking forward to this game for a while. How do you feel about Expedition? Do you like turn based?
I generally don't, but it still looks kind of interesting, right? And there was what is this? Lamplighters that's leaving Game Pass, and I thought it was gonna suck. I actually started playing it. It was actually pretty fun, and it's also kind of a turn-based. The fighting part is turn-based, but they had like this part where you could kind of walk normally, and if you can get right behind an enemy, you can just kill them in stealth, and you don't have to go into the turn-based mode, right? Or you can go into the
Oh,
turn-based mode. So it's kind of
okay.
a mix of both, and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. So it's an interesting concept, right? So, but they could do the same thing here too, and we'll see what they do with it. So sometimes it's cool. You
Yeah.
take the Persona games; those are all turn-based, and sometimes that can be annoying. Sometimes it can be pretty good. It depends on how well it's implemented.
Oh, in this
Metaphor is
game,
supposed to be very, very good, right?
speaking
So
of Persona, it looks like it takes a bit from Persona with the flashiness of the whole UI that pops up onto the screen and stuff. Like, it looks like Persona when it does that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So I'm hey, look. The beauty is it's coming to Game Pass. We can just play
Yeah,
it. So
you're
um,
just gonna try it. Yeah, try it out.
I'm gonna give it a chance, right? And so if it hooks me, it hooks me. One of the other things, though, in the world we're in now, right? Way back when we were growing up, it was like, hey, you got a game, you have to play that game because it was a while before you could get another one. Now we don't have that problem. There's so many games coming out all the time. If you're playing in a service, then it's really just as simple as I try it. If it hooks me early enough, fair enough. Otherwise, sorry, there's plenty of other fish in the sea, as it were. I'm just gonna move on and play the next game, right? So, I don't, I'm not, they're not owed my time, right? Like you said with AC Shadows, you play it up to a point. Hey, this is as much as I really want to play with this game. I'm done, right? I'm out. Next, right? But we're in that world now. There's so much available. You can just choose to move on, right? And that's the kind of thing here. And especially even if you buy the game, the same thing with me now. It's like, yeah, the
Yeah,
game either like Baldur's Gate 3. I bought that game
and you
thinking that would
hated
be
it.
my next 100 hours. And I'm like,
Dude,
I'm bored.
I can't believe you
I'm
hated that so
bored.
much. I love Baldur's Gate
I
3
didn't
so
hate it. I was
much.
just bored, and I'm like, I
We
don't
all
want to
like
do
our
this
own
anymore in my
things.
game.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I'm like,
I get it.
okay, so I give up. So so but I fully expected that to be like my next 100 hours. I was expecting to go put in a lot of time in that game because everybody was loving it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great, and it landed like I thought. It's like they're not owed my time. I
Yeah,
gave them the
I
money. I don't care. I move on. So that's the way it is. So if Expedition 33 is good, it pulls me in. Story's good. I want to keep playing, and the gameplay loop isn't annoying. It's decent or good. There we go. I'll play it, right? So we will
yeah.
see. But I generally tend to not like I'm not a fan of turn based as much, but I'll try it.
Yeah, that's how
So
I am. I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based. I can play it. Like a really good turn-based JRPG, I can get down on. I can play. But it has
yeah.
to grab you narratively, especially. That narrative has to be there if it's turn-based. Um, I think this one's for you. Ron G2665 for $1.99. Thank you very much. He says, a lot of people dislike Xbox, but you still play it. I
Is
think he
that
was
like
talking about
continuing on with his
I think he was talking about because when I said there's a lot of dislikes for Intergalactic, this was his rebuttal, I think.
huh?
Yeah, a lot of people
I don't
dislike
think we're talking
Xbox,
about the
but
same
you
things,
still
dude.
play it.
So in the real world, if we reel back to the real world here, when a game gets a lot of dislikes over likes, generally it does not survive that.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Now, you might have a mental issue about not liking Xbox. Those who have that problem can have that problem. I don't care. Right? There's some people who don't like Pepsi and don't like Coke. I don't care. That's just not my problem. Those both sell. Right?
Coke's
I don't
better.
understand
Coke's
what
better,
you're
by the
getting at.
way. Coke's
Yeah,
better.
I don't care what's going on in your head there. I don't understand. I'm just talking about the real world. When you get a lot of dislikes over likes, it generally tends to translate to bad performance. It doesn't always, but it generally tends to trend towards bad performance. And that could happen here. It could maybe not, right? I don't know. But it's an indicator, right? It's an indicator. And it's an indicator of PlayStation fans. So if they're not liking it,
Yeah,
they've got to take that internally and say, what do you do with that, right?
he said numbers don't lie, just saying, and again, you can talk about the number of sales for Xbox, but it's, it is what it is. We know the situation with where they're
I don't know
headed now, and
what to make of that, right?
it's
Like, it is what it is, right? And look, I'm the one saying I'm going to give it a chance. I had no issues with any, what they were showing. I really just want to see more. I want to understand what the gameplay loop is and like, what are they actually trying to do here, right? I hear more about the religion stuff. I'm like, okay, but fine. I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm more open, but I was surprised at the like to dislike ratio. I didn't think it would be that piled on, but it got piled on. So
yeah, it's probably the worst one I've seen for a game in a long time.
yeah,
Brand Mac
I'm not sure
31,
I've seen anything that bad.
thank you for the
So,
two. He says, I pre ordered Avowed and South of Midnight. Cool. I hope you enjoyed them both. Or you probably already played Avowed. Yeah. Because you
I
pre
finished
ordered it.
Avowed.
So, well, no, I think
Yeah.
Brand Mac, he said he pre ordered Avowed and South of Midnight. But I said,
Oh,
I hope you like them both. But I think he's probably already played Avowed because that dropped already.
yes.
Ron
Yep.
G, thank you for the $1.99. He says, you're right. Xbox not selling well, but you still play it. Okay, you're just saying the same thing, bud. It's just the same thing. He's
Yeah.
just messing with us. He says, "Great show." He's just messing around. It is what it is. Yeah. MVP. You said something earlier. Oh, he says South of Mid has Sweet Baby involved. That's a no for me. Yeah, unfortunately, Sweet Baby's involved in a lot
A
of
lot of
games.
games
A
have
lot of
them.
games. Yeah. And
Like
some
there
of
was a
them are
phase
fine.
where a whole bunch of games, right? I think
Yeah.
anything past like 2019,
Yeah,
18,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
you're gonna
Some of
find a
them are
lot of
fine. Some of them are even really good, and others are just bad. So
yeah.
it's a
We will
toss
see,
up there.
right?
Anyways, yeah. So Hargeet, if there's nothing else to talk about, it's been an hour, and this week's been really slow. We don't have to
Next week will be more
just
fun.
keep
We
it
have the
going.
Nintendo.
We do.
Is Jake available next week? Are we gonna have a?
We'll have somebody. We'll definitely get somebody on the show
Yeah.
next week because I want to soon anyway. I want to see if we can get the guys back and have like another RDX type thing again. Because the
Yeah.
last time we did that was so much fun and people loved it. And you know what? I'll even reach out to Tim Dog. Because you know why? A lot of people don't
Yeah.
like Tim, but Tim's a friend. Tim's a
Yeah.
friend. And I like Tim. And I would just like us to get together and just riff on games and stuff. Just have a good time. It'd be fun. Oh, Zocker's a definite, Web Dave. But I'm talking about D, I'm talking about Colt, I'm talking about Zocker, freaking Tim, Hargeet, and I would love to get Dealer, but that's out of the question for sure. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that would be amazing. Anyways, Hargeet, let everybody know where they can find you, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. So check us out tomorrow. Web Dave, just talk to tomorrow at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Web Dave's channel, and then I'll be on with Boom on Wednesday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, Double Barrel Gaming, and then back on with C-Money and Doodle on Friday at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Point for Gamers, and then we'll be back next week, hopefully with some more panel members or something like that to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out. Like, yeah, we'll see what that's all about. I don't know about the
That's
pre-orders.
exciting. Yeah.
There's rumors of having it be right after the direct or have it a week later. So we will see what happens. But
You're going to be ready,
keep an eye
right?
out for that.
You're going to be ready for the
Well,
pre-order?
I'm gonna be ready for the pre-orders right afterwards. Because here's what happened last time. Like PlayStation wanted to wait, right? And they were gonna have it later.
Yep.
And then I think it was Walmart said, "Well, we're just gonna do it right now," and so they put it
Yeah.
out, and holy crap! And then everybody else jumped. They're like, "Oh shit, we got it all!" So that could very well happen again. So I'm gonna be ready to go. I'll be watching to make sure if they decide to go ahead and do it, I'm gonna just do the pre-orders immediately. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I want to get one of my at least one pre-order in, and then hopefully over the holiday they'll have more. They supposedly have over 20 million built up already. So hopefully it won't be as a big of a deal to get one. So we will see. But yeah.
Oh, Nintendo likes to create this sense of like panic with their big game releases and stuff too. They do the same thing. Like it's like, oh my god, it's sold out here,
What did
sold
you
out
think of
everywhere.
their new virtual card thing? Did you see that?
Okay, what I saw that. What is it though exactly? Because I'm not sure what's going on there.
So if
Is
you
it
haven't
something you
done
can
this
share
already,
it with somebody like with through a friend
yes.
code? Okay.
So take what Xbox One was doing at the beginning of its, what their reveal was,
Yeah.
and cut that in like maybe a tenth of what they were doing, and that's what you're getting here. Um, but essentially, it'll let you, download your game on a console, pull the game from the console, put it on another console, back and forth. So you can go back and forth from one console to the next for a virtual game. But also, you can lend it for 14 days, right? To a friend or family, whatever it is, right? You can lend it to somebody. I think it was all family specifically, but that was what Xbox was going to give you. So basically, what Xbox One was going to do was anybody in your family group could play any of your games at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else, you could do a lend for 14 days, right? So they're basically incorporating some of those capabilities in a very minor amount that you were going to get with your Xbox One. But everybody said, "Oh my God, you need that internet thing," and that was the end of that. So Xbox pulled that and said, "Okay, we go back to the old style where your disc is the DRM. It's the license, that lets you play the game." Okay, I don't know. I kind of loved when I heard that stuff. I'm like, wait, I could just have everybody in my family play any of my games that I own. That's like fantastic. And then I can lend my game to anybody by just clicking buttons, and they have it. Wow! And that spawned that famous. This is how we share
Yep.
games. And I'm like, you missed a couple of steps. You have to first, drive across the country to go over to their house
Across the
and
country.
It's like,
Oh,
dude, if I'm at home, I don't need to ask you. I just freaking pick up the disc and play it. Like, what are you
yeah.
talking about? If I'm in the same freaking house, it's irrelevant. There's no sharing. You just pick up the disc and play it. No, the point is, I can just click a button in my house, and somebody across the world gets it in 10 seconds. Like, that's beautiful, right? Whereas otherwise, I
So
have to like
so
go to their house.
so
Like,
Nintendo has finally got into 2013.
yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
they're there. Yeah,
That's
well,
where we
it's
are.
baby steps. That's good for them. I mean, honestly,
Yes.
it's a move towards something better. Hopefully they'll get better web access and stuff. Because my son would complain about playing online games through
Yeah.
Nintendo. It's terrible. He always
They don't
complains
even
about it.
have like a chat service, right? You have to use like your
Discord.
telephone or something like
Yeah,
that.
he uses
Yeah.
Discord. All right. Well, with that said, I want to
All
thank
right.
everybody who came out today live. Thank you very much for showing up. We will be back here next Saturday again. And again, we should have more topics to talk about, especially with the Nintendo Switch 2 news coming. That's going to be big. Also, we should have a guest with us. Until then, game on.